Hello everyone and welcome to another wonderful tutorial. So today we are going to learn how to make this stylish top with an asymmetric collar that half side is pointy and half side is a Peter Pan collar. Now we'll begin by drafting the top before we'll move over to the collar. So as you all can see, my fabric is folded in 4 and on this fold it is around 11 inch and the length is 31.5 inches. So I'll begin by drafting my start line. Now after drafting my start line, I'll go down to mark the bust line, the waistline and the hip line. Now I'm going to mark that again so that I can get a straight rule. I'll mark the bust line, the waistline and the hip line. After marking it, I'll go ahead to connect these lines with my ruler. Now after connecting the line, I came down by 1 inch for my folding allowance of the hem and I marked that down. Now on the start line, I came in by 3.5 inches for my neck width, which is ½ inch more than my actual neck width. And I came down by 3 inches for my neck depth and I just connected it. The 3 inches was also ½ inch more. Now I used this because this shirt does not have a zip. To be on safe side next time, just add 1 inch more for your neck width. The depth can be the same when drafting. Now from the start line again, I came in by half of the shoulder measurement, and since this is a cut together sleeve, I left the remaining for the sleeve. Now on the end of the sleeve, I came down by 1 inch and connected it to the neckline. Above this line we are drafting, I came up by ½ an inch for shoulder joining allowance. Now from our slanted line, I came down to mark how wide I want my sleeve to be. I marked 9 inches and now I went ahead to mark the round body measurements. On the bust line, I marked quarter of the bust measurement plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance and I connected it to the sleeve. On the waistline, I marked quarter of the waist measurements plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance and I marked it down. Now I connected these 2 points together. Now on the hip line, I went ahead to mark quarter of the hip measurements plus our ease and allowance, but the material was not enough for that, so I just connected it to the end of the fold. Now the next thing I went ahead to do was to draft the basque. I want the basque to be long, so I came up from the hip by 2 inches to give it that length. And after coming up, I just came in from the end by my 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I connected it straight down to the hem, as you all can see. Now after that, I went ahead to cut out my fabric, and yeah, when cutting, I remember that we did not draft the depth of our back neckline. So on the start, I came down by 1 inch and connected it. So when I was done with that, I went ahead to cut out our fabric. Now after cutting, I went ahead to remove the back so that I can cut the neckline of the front. After cutting the neckline, the next thing I went ahead to do was to draft the slit on the front. From the hip line, I came up by 4 inches, and on the hip line again, I came in by 1 inch. Now using my curved rule, I'm going to make a curved slit just as you all saw in the beginning of the video. Now after marking it out, I'll just go ahead and cut out the slits. Now when I was done cutting, I realized that the slit was a bit small, so using my curved rule, I came in again by a bit and I went ahead to redraft the slits. Now after drafting, I measured what I came in by and it was around 1 inch. So in total, I came in by 2 inches for the slits. Now after cutting, this is it for the front. Now these are 4 pieces of fabric that I cut out from my leftover fabric. I want to attach this to the sleeve because the sleeve is a bit short. So I'll attach this to all sides, both front and back. Now after attaching this, I'll go ahead and join the front and the back right sides facing each other. Now as you all can see, I have joined the both front and back and I have added the sleeve. I also went ahead to iron ghetto line on the middle of the front and back. Now this ghetto line is going to be a guide when drafting the collar. Now I'm going to be using this pattern paper to draft, then I'll transfer this to a fabric. Now since this collar, the back is closed and the front is the one that is open, I'm going to place the back on the folded side. Now this pattern paper is on a fold, so I placed the back side on the folded side and the front I just aligned it with the shirt. Now after arranging it, I went ahead to trace out the neckline as you all can see. Now while tracing it, I went ahead to trace also the midpoint of the front following the ghetto line that we did. Now this line is going to guide me while drafting the collar. Now that I'm done drafting this out, it's time for us to draft. So following the neckline that we drafted, I'll just come down by 7 inches. I want my collar to be 7 inches long. So I'm just marking 7 inches following the neckline that we drafted. Okay, now while drafting, I noticed that the paper I'm using is not wide enough to accommodate the 7 inches on the side. So I'll just cut this out for now and I'll continue drafting on our fabric. Now as you all can see, my fabric is folded in two and the back part is placed on the folded part. Now I'll continue marking the 7 inches that we started marking. But while marking this time around, I went ahead to mark 7.5 inches because we need ½ inch for our joining and folding allowance of the collar. Now I'm using just ½ inch because I'm going to be using a bias for the turning of the neckline, and as you all know, a bias doesn't have much, just ½ centimeter. But if you are not using a bias, mark extra 1 inch for your joining allowance. So here I went ahead to highlight the shoulder side, that's the part that separates the front from the back, and after highlighting that, I'll go ahead and mark my 7 inches to that point. Now from that point, we are going to connect it to the front of the collar. Now on the front, I went ahead to extend the length to how long I want it to be. Because my pattern is not long enough, I just stopped at the end. But if my pattern were longer, I would have gone longer than that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out the remaining part of the collar. Now from our shoulder mark to like the midpoint of the front neckline, I still marked the same 7.5 inches, but from the midpoint to our pointed edge, I just traced it down. So that's just it for our collar. So here I'm tracing out the neckline and the sides as well. Now another thing I did was on this front side, I went ahead to add ½ inch for folding allowance. Since this side is open, we need allowance to turn the edge over. Now after marking the ½ inch, I went ahead to connect the points together. And after that, I'll go ahead and cut out our collar. Now I'm done cutting the collar, and as you all can see, I went ahead to cut 2 pieces for the collar. One is going to be the main piece and one will be the lining piece. Now for the remaining part of the collar, you will go ahead and decide which side you want the shorter edge to be, and when you've done that, you will go ahead to mark 7.5 inch on the shorter side so that it blends with the actual length of our collar. So that's what I'm doing. I'm marking 7.5 inch to shorten one side of the collar. After marking that, on the edge of the collar, on the start of the collar, I came in by 1 inch and I'm just going to connect it to the neckline as you all can see. Now after connecting it, we'll just go ahead and curve the down part to give it this curve look. Now after curving it, I went ahead to cut out the collar. Now for the curvy design on the side, I'm just going to use my ruler to locate the midpoint of the front on this side. Now I placed my ruler to where it doesn't have to be equal, just place it anywhere, and I marked it down. So on that mark, I came up by 1.5 inches, and from that 1.5 inch, I'm trying to form the curve design that you all can see. Now while marking it, I realized that the curve on the front was a bit short, So using my ruler again, I will try to locate a midpoint of the front again. So here I was trying to locate which part is going to be best, and when I was satisfied with the mark, I came up by 1.5 inch again. Now using a curve, I'll blend from the 1.5 inch to the front, and using another curve, I'll blend to the other side as well. So there's no rule here, just make sure that at the end of the day, you get this butterfly design. Now after cutting, I reduced the front by a bit just so that I can highlight this butterfly design even more, and yeah, this is what we have. So now that we're done cutting, the next thing I went ahead to do was to attach hairstay to one part of the collar, as you all can see. Now we're going to place this collar right side facing each other, and we're going to sew all around. After sewing, this is what we have. As you all can see, it is looking clean because I trimmed the allowance on the inside and I also ironed it as well. Now as you all can see, I went ahead to notch the midpoint of our collar. Now it's time for us to attach our collar to our joined shirt. So placing the notched part of our collar to the gator line, that's the midpoint of the back, we're going to pin it down and place the remaining part of our collar, arrange it as well. So now after arranging, we'll go ahead and sew all around. Now while sewing, I'll use my bias tape just to turn it over. So we'll sew first on one side and then we'll turn the bias over and secure it down. Now after joining our collar, the last thing I'm going to do is to join our shirts together. So we're going to place right sides facing each other and sew it down using the sewing allowance added. Now after sewing, this is what we have. As you all can see, our shirt is ready. Now on the neckline, our collar is attached properly and we did not sew on our collar, we sewed down on the shirt. Our shirt is joined properly. I hemmed the hem with a bias as well as the sleeve. So yeah, if you found my tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share. I'll be seeing you all in my next one.